know, Nostally, our commentator from China, also rated them. And we're going to Brex's holdout, baby. TeamNut already trying to surprise their opponents, and I am loving it, Tetcher.
Is this our first Braxis?
That it is.
Oh, excellent. First Braxis of the tournament. TeamNut showing us up, and they are bringing us to some entertaining games here. This is a map where solo laners could dominate. Guess who they've been running? It's a little bit of URL.
Absolutely. And, you know, I don't think there's a better map for a strong solo laner than Brax's holdout. So they're basically, I'm not even sure if that's all part of their battle plan, right? Picking Braxis and then being like, okay, come on, we're gonna go with this. We're gonna go with the URL. They don't even ban it out, so maybe they've scrimmed against Beyond the Game, and maybe they know. Never mind. This could backfire now, Tetcher.
They will. I mean, I'm very surprised they let it go. I would have thought they would have banned it first game and maybe let it through the second game if they realized it wasn't the problem.
So, TeamNut chose the battleground. They knew, of course, as a result, that they didn't have first pick, right? Makes sense. You can't have both. That would be OP. So, they probably expected, by not banning Irel, that at least there was a chance and possibility for the enemy team to pick it up. That's exactly what happened. And they picked the Phoenix and the Junkrat. Now, I want to know, Tetra, are we going to see a Phoenix in that top lane? Is that what they think works best against Irel? Because with Fei Yi playing her twice and probably many more times in practice games before, he probably knows very well how to counter her.
We got a little bit of a preview of that in the previous game where Phoenix did rotate up once during the previous series, but it didn't do so well.
That it did not, and I'm loving the Ariel pick here, completely ignoring Stukov, completely ignoring the Malfurion, the well anticipated. You know what? An Ariel pick plus Johanna and Irel? I think that could have been
too
legit.
Tanky. That's way too tanky. Where would have been the damage?
Chagal's got damage for 2.
I kinda. No, I'm not sure I would have liked that. That is ambitious to the nth degree, but at least they would have won the solo lane. But yeah, you do bring up an excellent point. Faye has been playing a lot of URL, BTG now stealing her away. The question is, can they, does Faye know what the counter is, or has he just been leaning on it?
And I mean, there is an old Team League proverb, and that is like, you better ban Cho'Gall just to be safe. Because Cho'Gall is one of those heroes, especially on a 2-lane map like Brax's. Like, if you don't manage to shut him down early, he's gonna snowball your team out of control. And now, we see the Decker Kane banned, which makes a lot of sense, because I think Decker Kane probably next to, I would say Malfurion maybe, or Rhaegar, the strongest lane sustainer on Brax's by a large margin. I would actually say Decker Kane is probably the best right now. He's low on mana, he's got good anti-disengage, and he enables a lot of other heroes and keeps them safe, especially the Phoenix. Really one of the better protectors to keep him safe with the shielding potions.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. That's a reasonable ban out there, removing the Deckard Kane. TeamNut, though, they've shown that they can be quite flexible with their support, already bringing it up to Lucio at least once. So let's see what they have here. They already have a good double assassin lineup, so now it's just their solo laner, but both of their assassins right now can solo lane. So that is where they've left themselves a lot of flexibility, and I really like that.
That is true. It's not unheard of for Junkrat even to solo on Braxis. Like, we've definitely seen that in the past. Phoenix, of course, everybody knows how strong and how much of a bully this hero can be, especially when facing a melee hero like Irel. As strong as Irel is, if she's not careful against a Phoenix, she could definitely be on the shorter end here. Now, they need a little bit of damage, right? They need 2 assassins, maybe a specialist. What is still left available? Chromie? I mean, Brax is a fantastic Chromie map, don't get me wrong. You can have your Sandblast quest done in 5 to 6 minutes if you're having a good run.
Yeah, you're against Stukov, who doesn't offer burst protection or cleanse. So
I would love the Chromie.
Pretty decent. If not, then Valor. This is a okay Valor map. Multi-shot into the Zerg wave can get you some decent clear. And same with Gul'dan. So the Gul'dan, the anti-Chromie. Similar idea of just stacking bot lane in the 4-man, and it also is a little bit of a better hope generator than Chromie would be for the Ariel. So cool.
Definitely more reliable, you know, with his AoE abilities, more likely to hit enemy heroes rather than the skill shot dependent Chromie. So Ariel could be empowered greatly by the Gul'dan. I can't wait to see what they're going to bring to the table, but they're trying to counter this with Alarak. And I'm not sure if it's going to be Oasis who plays that hero, but his hand gesture there signalized a lot of confidence and a lot of satisfaction with that hero. So Alarak probably going to be in that 4-man, I would presume, and Phoenix in the top lane solo.
I would assume you're right, but we will have to wait and see. I mean, the Alarak in the solo lane sounds pretty decent to me, actually. It can outrange the Yrel. You can silence her, which seems like a really good way to deal with her. I mean, if they put someone in the solo lane that isn't Alarak, I don't actually even think it should be Phoenix. I think it should be...
You like the Junkrat
more?
I
take that back. I did, and then I reconsidered, and I've changed my mind. I don't like the Junkrat more. I think Junkrat in the solo lane versus Ariel is great because you can just chuck concussion mines and try and stop her getting good AoE heals. Anytime you start to see people trying to group up, and also just to the fact that Phoenix on this map is almost certainly going for the Planet Cracker, as that's the go-to talent on this map for the Zerg wave clear. And when you're Planet Cracker, that also leaves it open for a global, not engage, but global damage. So a telekinesis silence into maybe some kind of crowd control for lockdown could easily set them up for a max range Planet Cracker from across the map. And Phoenix can do that, and none of the other heroes can't, obviously, because they don't have any global abilities.
You bring up a really good point. Like, Planet Cracker sounds insane at first, right? Because the ability is so predictable. It's usually not very high impact. You can get interrupted pretty easily there as well. But in Brax's holdout, it is actually stronger than Lava Wave against the Zergs if you use it correctly, right? If you use it in a straight line to hit, especially all those tiny little Zergs, they're going to pop immediately. But let's see if Beyond the Game can hold their own or if they're going to fall victim to the composition that TeamNut has brought to the table. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to the first Braxis game of this phase of HGC China. Let us see who's going to prevail. In the blue trunks on the left-hand side, we see Beyond the Game with 619 on Johanna, LLK on the Gul'dan, Druid is playing on Ariel this time, and we have Dancing playing the Hanzo, and 3 on Phoenix, on the Yrel against their opponents this time. No Fei on Yrel.
It is going to be TeamNut. They brought us to the map, and it's going to be No on the Alarak, FS on the Muradin, Fei on the Junkrat, Oasis on the Phoenix, and Atui on the Stukov. And guess who's going to the solo lane? I really thought it would be Fei, the Junkrat, seeing as he's the one on the Fei's the one on it, but I've been baited. So it is in fact going to be Phoenix in that solo lane.
All right, Phoenix probably the most stable choice here, simply due to the fact that he's got a superior range. He could outrange his opponent, the Yrel. It's not an easy thing to do, though, mind you, because of the sheer tankiness and self-sustain that 3 on that Yrel is going to bring to the table. I'm also curious to see whether he's going to go for the exact same build that Fei went in the last series. Oh, they're trying to go for the Yrel with a mighty rotation. Looks like TeamNut is trying to switch it up.
Oh, they've baited. They've baited. They've left Fei in the solo lane. They've managed to just make this the solo lane.
Yeah.
And the rotation happens again. They've literally just done a full loop. Oh, hang on. They're going through the middle. Are they planning on trying to get a gank? Denied by the Hanzo Vision. They're waiting for the Hanzo Vision to expire. Okay, FS shows. He's going to find 2 heroes. He's going to be able to back up, though. Takes a little bit of damage. He can even take the shortcut over this wall. See you later. Going to walk back as mercenary camps are being begun.
Yeah, I think FS and Muradin, he bought a little bit of time. As a result, their siege camp is going to be activated a little sooner compared to their opponents, which could sometimes, you know, be of importance. For now, though, Ariel and Gul'dan are the only heroes left for BTG to actually take care of this top lane. Now we see a full 4-man rotation again to the top lane, and it is Oasis with the solo lane duty.
Taking a lot of damage, though. He's getting rotated against pretty consistently. Now he's got some mercs to deal with. As we see the pressure being applied to this top lane. It's an extra healing build coming in from Alarak with that level 1. We'll see how well that works out for him as the game goes on. With mobile offense for the Phoenix, no Arsenal synergy here this time.
Yeah, basically trying to have a more stable laning phase there, I believe. Beautiful concussion mine to keep 619 at bay. But against 3 heroes, 1 Junkrat, cannot do all so much. Actually, that was super clutch. Almost channeled Zerg meter process for TeamNut, but in the nick of time, BTG just scored it even again. So pretty tight match here. We see 3, though, getting trapped and eliminated. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is something that
I love this.
In the previous series we haven't seen once. ERL getting taken out in the laning phase.
I love this so much. The fact is that they've got 2 ranged solo laners, both of which ranged solo lanes are the things that I had a theory might be okay against ERL. This is the sort of proof, but not foolproof yet. But what they're doing is leaving both of those potential solo laners in a lane and then rotating literally everyone else. It's such a cool idea. How do you deal with the fact that at any point you might be 3-man ganked and end up with a 4v1? Or even a 4v2 if you end up going for a 3-2 split. How do you deal with that? Look at this, 3-man camp being taken. This is about to become a 4-man gank with Phoenix coming in. The vision is acquired by Hanzo. They don't get the camp and they don't get the engage. But that pressure, there we go. They managed to get all down here. The heal from Ariel, just enough for the save. And they're going to get punished, actually. Beautiful counter rotation. But that was so scary. They are very lucky they've been able to turn this round.
They are getting punished for it, as you said, TeamNut, that is. But they bought a little bit of time. They're getting 50, 52, 56% of that Zerg wave before in the bottom lane ERL actually came back. Hanzo with the snipe, the golden arrow, taking out the Muradin, now causing even more staggered deaths. And as a result, it is not the blue team, it is now BTG who acquires control over the shrines. And that's the good thing about ERL. She can stay there, she can hold her ground. Whereas Oasis on the Phoenix, he's going to have to stutter step and kite much more. Can they get the kill against the 3 again? No.
He's trying his best and was able to do so quite a bit with that extra mobile offense damage. So they keep control of it in the meantime, though top is doomed. It will get taken out pretty quickly. Interesting talent, by the way, I want to point out. Trying to snowball their advantage, Muradin went for Sledgehammer and is now getting absolutely 0 value due to the fact that his team died due to that camp invade attempt.
Yeah, that's a good point you bring up there. No Thunder Zone at level 4, which means no double Thunder Clap. And look how much damage the Johanna is just tanking through, protected by Ariel. What is FS doing there? Don't walk into the Stuka.
Tanking, he's dying, he's down, and no forced to back up. 619 actually survives, and everyone else is forced away, and that's going to force Phoenix to try and counter channel. He will get the neutralization here.
So I think he was, I think Muradin thought he was safe because of Stukov's silence, right? But the enemy team's heroes were still pretty healthy, and they didn't even care too much about it. And Muradin was sitting at 10% HP, so a little bit of misread there maybe on the situation. But they're not done fighting just yet. Chinese teams, they like to brawl, and Brax's holdout is a great early brawling map if you rotate from lane to lane. Looks like Beyond the Game now once again in the driver's seat. But look at the progress of TeamNut here overall on the beacons. 96, they're almost there.
96 to 60, a full combo is landed onto 619, which means the show of force works, but the damage from Gul'dan hits everyone. Huge damage. 3 looking for no, not able to get it. Surprise dancing from over the wall, picks up another kill. He gets knocked into the wall range, goes down, and Muradin escapes over the other wall. TeamNut, what a play.
What a play, what a turnaround. How do you counter a cheeky Overwatch here? Well, you send in another one, and Junkrat is exactly the one you were looking for there. So unfortunately, not FS missing the Stormbolt here. Otherwise, they could have maybe taken out the Gul'dan as well. I can't believe that ERL was able to hold it once again at 98%.
They just keep going. They just keep going to another fight. Alarak is hiding, though. They don't know he's here. He's looking for Ariel. We'll get Gul'dan instead. That's still a good target. Here's the silence from Stukov. LLK is gone. And Dancing can't drop his damage due to that zoning silence of 2. It was such a clutch move. Johanna, though, is here. Forces the silence to cancel. The channel is beginning, though. They're going to get that back, but top is already taken back. Alarak goes down. Finally, Hanzo able to ping him off from over range. Now focusing on a 2. FS moving forward, holding this at neutral as we see the top retaken. And that's going to allow Muradin to back up, and he instead get picked off.
The repeated offense there, the level 4 talent for the Ariel made sure that Muradin actually got splashed against the wall and taken out immediately. It is a constant skirmish, a constant brawl there in the bottom lane. And it was unfortunately a little bit of a overreaction by the Alrek. He probably thought he got a heal. He probably thought he would be tanking through this damage. but he wasn't able to, and that put his name in a really bad spot here. Now Yrel,
Yrel.
Does she know her limits?
There, down she goes. It's neutral up here, only barely though. LLK is low. Oasis is sneaking away. He's got so little health. No, so much corruption damage too. Junkrat moves on to the point here. He needs to channel this. Here comes the Dragon Arrow. The percentage begins to get neutralized. Level 10 is acquired as they continue to move forward. Everyone gets out. The Horrify is dodged. And yet the percentage didn't happen because they neutralized while pushing into TeamNut at the exact time they grabbed bot.
There was a 4 versus 4 the entire time because, you know, Junkrat, he was capturing the bottom beacon again, and now they've used so many of their heroic abilities already. No Horrify, for example, no Dragon's Arrow. So the moment TeamNut gets level 10, I think they're going to be able to turn it around again.
100! The double silence, though, looking for the counter. Dancing is the target. The pigs are dropped. Massive shove. And this is the disengage. No, has been the Fort Pikachu. He backs up and will survive. And guess what? It's no purification. It's no laser coming in here. So instead, we're just going to see Phoenix pushing the top lane.
Yeah, I was going to say, no, really should have not chased that all the way down into the Zerg wave. Speaking of which, by the way, we see the Sacred Ground. You can see it here now, 4-3, really holding his ground, trying to get that 40 armor and basically become that immovable object for the enemy team. So, lower cooldown, of course. You have 24 in that, and he's going to be able to cast it again. Now, in terms of raw structural progress, I think BTG is outpacing TeamNut by a tremendous margin. Can they get the tower keep tower line? Let's find out in a bit. In the meantime, Oasis is in trouble. Is he going to juke away? Oh, I think he did it.
What? Surprise! Muradin out of
he went back into it.
Oh, Dragon Arrow comes through as well. And LK might actually live this. His Drain Hope keeps him alive for now. He's got reinforcements coming in. Bless Shield buys him time, pulls back, dodges the Muradin, who now has to run towards the enemy base. Fort shot comes down. 1, 2, Yrel, and there's another kill.
Oh, that was the anticipation there by LLK, the prediction moves to basically be like, I'm pretty sure Phoenix is going to try it again, right? There's no way his shield has built up again, and one fell wave to the face made sure that Phoenix regretted his life choice there. He should have just stayed back and wait a little bit for his shields to regenerate. But as it is, Beyond the Game now in full control of this game. They had a much more impactful Zerg wave. They were dominating the map right now with rotations, stealing away mercenary camps on the half of TeamNut. Are they going to go for more, though? Nope, they're not going to go for the siege camp. They just want to get level 13 now and have another huge advantage at their disposal.
Yeah, it's a full level lead here, about to be a talent lead as well, with BTG seizing control of the game. But you mentioned that it was a superior Zerg wave, not by much. As we see the silence being dropped, immediately Yrel gets massive shove, not very far. Dragon Arrow gets completely whiffed, might actually hit Junkrat. No, it doesn't, as we see the salvo get interrupted by the Fear. Now Oasis in serious trouble, he will go down.
He will go down. Sometimes all it needs is a one-man Horrify to win you a team fight, and that's exactly what they did. The Blessed Shield actually connecting there as well. Nut is now on the full retreat. Can they make it out alive? For now, I think they can. But, you know, with a 5 versus 4 advantage, Beyond the Game can now do whatever they want to. First of all, they're going to have to take care of those mercs.
In the meantime, TeamNut mirrors the action, clearing out the mercs in the top lane that were pushing against their tier 2 towers. Muradin continues to play very, very far forward, gaining vision for his team.
By the way, we see a slight build variation coming in from 3 on the side of BTG. On the Yrel, he's going for that level 13 slow.
Increased slow.
Exactly, on his E. So a lot of synergy on the jumps. Can he consecutively execute them in good order, though?
Very interesting. This is it can work. The slows are really good, and you can see how aggressive this Yrel has been playing.
Yeah.
So I do not hate it. We'll see
how well. At level 20, if she goes for the upgraded Sacred Ground, he can actually take the zone with him as long as he jumps from zone, within the zone, right? It's so good.
I like that idea. That sounds like a good plan. We'll see if they pull it off. For now, moving into the top lane. 619 is scouted, but the force does not land here. Now, no, pulling back, realizing that this is not an advantageous position. They don't have Phoenix. They are outnumbered. Corruption is eaten by FS, but he will heal that up with his trait.
That he will. As you said, Phoenix still defending in the bottom lane. Basically made sure that level 13 was here for TeamNut. But now I think we're about to witness a full team fight. 5 versus 5. Oh,
Yeah.
let's see what is going to happen here. Both teams are just circling around.
We currently have Alarak doing his best Zap Browning impression and asking his team to die for me, you cowards, with the pure malice coming in. We see the Sacred Ground being dropped. Immediate silence onto Yrel, but look at that tankiness. One-man Dragon Arrow onto FS. He drops the Avatar, though. Oh, his health, though, is not helping. That, yeah, that Avatar did not help. Atui getting deleted as well. Riptide is just chasing Dancing, but it gets wrecked.
Yeah, it gets absolutely taken out here. Riptide is so clutch of a survival against Dancing. He was probably sitting at 5 HP there. The salvo coming a little too late there with a clean triple kill. I think it's boss time for Beyond the Game. Now, keep in mind, though, Auriel is not the greatest of sustaining supports when it comes to those boss battles. So they're probably going to take a lot of damage, resulting in them giving up at least one beacon. Now, here we see another replay of that team fight. Now, look at FS. They're actually going to try to burst down the Murden, which is always a risky thing to do, but look how isolated he is. The healing, the burst hitting from Stukov, not in time there. Actually, Stukov gets caught himself there as well, and the Riptide, for good measure, gets completely destroyed.
Completely juked, completely destroyed. Boss is taken, pushing in top lane. And we do see, however, the percentage is once again held by TeamNut.
Yeah.
They are even on talents. They want to hold this as long as they can. They're moving on to Yrel. She's already dropping the Sacred Ground. And Murid, the rest of the team's like, nope, none of that. Just let Murid delay for a little bit and then run away.
Speaking of running away, Fei needs to get out of here. The Dragon's Arrow lands on point, though. Now, can they get the Hanzo as a retaliation kill? So get the healing done. Druid is here to save his mate's day. It's too good. Even the Crystal Age is still available just in case.
Wow, that was just easy. Hanzo just stood next to a wall, and Alarak tried to position to predict him, and that position just left him so open. The double jump from 3 picks up the kill, and this is a big old snowball coming out from BTG. The boss has finally been cleared up, but the keep is open. This is going to be the lane that the full Zerg wave will be pushing in as finally the double channel is acquired.
This could be so much trouble for TeamNut now. Look at that. They're distracted by the Merc push in the bottom, right? That leaves, of course, the top lane completely open, and they're taking even more mercenary camps, BTG that is, and put that in addition to the Zergs. They're spawning from the top lane right now, and we just saw, right, that the towers and the gate had already been torn down. So this is going to be a lethal push. I think this might actually be game if only one member of TeamNut ends up falling early here.
Gonna find out.
No.
He already back. It's scouted, gets one stun, but he gets absolutely stun locked. The silence might allow him to get out, though. It does. Stukov saving the day here. Muradin is alive. Junkrat just popping in as much damage as he can. Doesn't have Riptire for any kind of clear, though. There's no Planet Cracker. There's no Riptire. Their wave clear is just auto attacks at this point. Sacred Ground comes in. FS already having popped the Avatar. The Little Zergs are dead, but the Ultralisks are alive. The Guardians are alive, and these Goliaths are alive as well. Huge Horrify just wipes Muradin.
There goes Muradin. There goes the core, I believe. TeamNut needs a miracle to hold this, but they're losing member after member, and the Guardians, the Zerg Guardians, are still hammering at the core. It goes down to 50, down to 40, and I think that's all she wrote for game number 1. They lose Gul'dan, but they don't even care.
Yeah, Gul'dan goes down, but so did Junkrat, so there was no chance for the setup counter kills, and that is GG. BTG takes game number 1.
And they continue the domination